The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Quirky Dog Podcast, inspired by some of the quirkiest dogs you can ever imagine, and the owners who love them. This podcast is brought to you by the quirky couple themselves, Scott and Jess Williams. Their aim is to educate and entertain. Here's Scott and Jess.
Welcome, guys. Believe it or not, we are live in studio. There aren't a lot of people here at our Studio Cafe 21 Podcast Cafe or whatever. So we are out recording live for you today. And we want to welcome you and thank you for joining us. Yeah. But first, we're going to start with the quirky tip of the day.
We are the diehards. So the tip of the day, which may seem a little redundant, is wash your hands. Wipe down your steering wheel. Bring some wipes with you and try and come and go, leaving a sterile environment.
Yeah, be a little bit thoughtful here, guys. This is a crazy time in our lives, and we realize that. So we are going to touch on some stuff about dogs today, but we wanted to give you 25 tips and considerations of things that you can be doing and being mindful of during the coronavirus, because all of us are affected by this in some way or another, and it is a very uncertain time, and we want to be here to support you and give you some ways to get those wheels turning in your heads. So,
yeah, I tried to maintain 6 feet of distance here, and
I just can't stay away.
She's been fighting it.
I just can't stay away. All right, so the first thing I really want to focus on, we have a list of 25 things. They're in no specific order, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on each one. But if you do have the resources right now, please consider donating. It's just such a huge time to be saving money, putting money aside to give to people who are going to need it in the future. I saw this awesome thing yesterday on Facebook, the little communities that have the community libraries. Is that what they're called? When they have the little things, like the little huts, they look so cute in the little different cities. People actually took the books out and put food in them, which I thought was a great idea and so simple and so easy. And if you're going to the store and stocking up, buy another can of peanut butter, throw it in there. You got an extra roll of toilet paper, throw it in there. Just something. Consider donating. And it doesn't just have to be monetary. A lot of people are talking about going and offering to shop for elderly people so they can not have to go to the stores themselves and just bring the groceries and put them at their doorstep. So really think outside the box in any way, shape, or form that you can right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing, these people putting groceries in a little box outside their house. But
it's the thing I loved most that everyone on Facebook loved too, but Scott thinks that's silly. Okay.
It's just an unusual thing.
So number 2, if you are still in a position where you are financially stable and everything else, shop. And everybody is thinking, okay, yeah, shop at the grocery stores, like I'm shopping for essentials and everything else. But legitimately, now a lot of restaurants are closed. Lots of restaurants sell gift cards online. So stock up online, like look who's selling gift cards. Buy presents for, Christmas. I was thinking if your mom was still alive, she'd be on QVC all day, every day, having stuff shipped to the house. She would love this.
Yeah, and what they're doing with the local restaurants is they're delivering now, which is a nice
Some
service.
are.
Or you can drive by and pick up. They will come out to the curbside and drop off the food for you right at your car. So that's also
a nice a lot of people are doing takeout. But consider all right, let's just get my Christmas shopping for the whole family done this year, getting little gift cards delivered to your doorstep, all of that stuff. Scott's sister owns a clothing company called Habitat. They do online sales. Scott's brother is a sculptor, Chris Williams Sculptures. You could check out his site. But if you have the ability right now, definitely think of spending money and putting money back into the economy in every way you can. And that's hard because we're not supposed to be going out a lot. We're not supposed to be running to Target. We're not supposed to be doing these small errands. Amazon is now cut back on what they're going to allow being sent out and everything, rightfully so, and the lack of employees and the concern about the virus. But if you do have the money, filter it back into the economy any which way you can.
Yeah, and the government's going to be mailing us all checks for thousands of dollars to keep us going. So
Biden will pay for it.
I wouldn't hold my breath, but it's on the way.
All right. And then the third thing we were talking about, and this taps into mostly what we've been trying to do, is mindfulness. So I'm on a little bit of a puzzle craze. Thank God my second cottage puzzle just arrived yesterday before Amazon talked about the new regulations. Scott said what we can do now is break apart both puzzles that we just did once we finish them and then put all the pieces together and then make 2 out of that. So I guess that'll keep me going for a little while. But puzzles are a great way to look at mindfulness.
We were doing that before any of this stuff happened. It's a great way to just not be sitting in front of a TV or being on the social media. And we spend time together and we talk and we just kind of, it's a nice way to unwind. It's a kind of an old-fashioned thing to do, but it's a good time to get back to some of those basics. You know?
No, definitely. And, sometimes we play music, whatever it is, hiking. If you can find places that aren't really populated, hiking is a nice form of mindfulness. We are really big into meditation right now. We wake up every day, we meditate for a half an hour between 7 and 8, I'd say. And then we do another half hour around 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Like that is just like a strict thing in our lives. And it was even before this, but it's helping just keep things into perspective. Scott lights some incense. What's your incense? Your blue pearl or something?
Yeah, blue pearl. The thing, more importantly, trying to maintain some kind of
that's another one.
A new normal. Yeah.
We're going to get there. He likes to take...
It's part of the structure.
He likes to take the tips and mix them all in.
I'm just thinking that the meditation is just a structured thing that we do at a certain time every day.
And it's a form of mindfulness that really does help. Like the benefits for us of just sitting there and shutting up and focusing on not all the peripheral stuff going on is nice. We did a live meditation on canine healing on Monday night. And I said, like, no CDC, no news from the president, no Facebook feeds. I mean, that's a nice break right now, not having to be into all of that. You talked about coloring. I would say coloring is a form of mindfulness.
There's some pretty cool adult coloring books on the market. They've been popular for the past few years, and they're highly detailed, awesome pictures. Like if you're going to be eating acid and hallucinating, they're a really good thing to
they're going to look really awesome then.
It is a good opportunity to be eating hallucinogenics because you're stuck at home anyway. Yeah. You're not supposed to.
Everybody has those just laying around. Yoga. A lot of people. This is great that you're mentioning hallucinogenics. Well, it is a good mindfulness.
Yoga,
it is a good mindfulness topic. Yoga, you guys, a lot of people are obsessed with yoga. They swear by it with the breathing and the practices and everything else. And so many people are offering their services online. So consider doing those things. Like consider taking advantage of some of these services and doing these things. And mindfulness is like, oh yeah, hoity-toity, whatever. Well, like if you are diagnosed with anxiety or depression or anything else right now, every single person you talk to, including therapists, including doctors, everything else is going to tell you to look into mindfulness as a practice. It's not just some hum-de-dum thing. Taking a moment and just living in the moment for a change is nice. We have so many different things that can catch our attention, and they call it monkey mind. It's a meditative practice, and we're always just here, there, and everywhere. And being ADHD is not helping us to just be present and stay in the moment. So mindfulness is a big one.
Yeah, and I would start just with short. If you do have anxiety and you do have a hard time, with settling down, just try and take a 3 to 5 minute block where you focus on one thing. And even we talked about it with the dog, unless I'm jumping ahead again. But, just sitting with your dog, but not sitting with your dog while you watch TV or sitting with your dog while you're on your cell phone.
That does happen to be 13.
Put the phone on airplane mode. Hang out with your dog and just watch your dog and just enjoy your dog for who your dog is. And don't need to get into the training or anything. Just be there.
Be in the moment. Being in the moment.
And if you can do that for 2 or 3 minutes, it's actually a big deal. People can't do that kind of stuff for any length of time,
Yeah, and when we do our live meditations through Facebook, through Canine Healing, it's 10 minutes, and we weren't doing a half an hour here, there, and everywhere. It's funny, when we used to float, we like those float tanks. I'm sure we've talked about it before. We used to float for an hour. And then we were like, oh, I could use a little more. And then we always, when we had our own take especially, we're going to go in for 90 minutes. Then, all right, I'm going to float for 2 hours. I'm going to float for 3 hours. So if you build up, then it becomes more effective over time. We're not saying, go sit down for 30 minutes, close your eyes, don't think about anything, don't hear anything. But if you start slow and you can build up, that helps. And if meditation freaks you out and you think it's way too woo-woo, then there's some other stuff there. Puzzles and coloring is way more fun. It's like being a kid again. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. We have number 4. Scott thought this one was silly. But building community from afar.
What the hell does that mean?
You don't like building community no matter how it comes.
I'm trying to avoid community constantly.
Yeah. We always say he's just a figurehead. He says, here's my community, somebody run it, I'm the figurehead.
This whole thing is perfect for me. I just stay home. I don't get out and see anybody.
He's been social distancing for about 56 years. All right, so building community from afar. So, of course, we can't be getting together and holding hands and kumbaya and all that. But
like we did that before. Go ahead, continue.
I always did at the melting pot when they would bring the dessert and it flamed up. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. Okay, so
one of your more endearing qualities.
Yeah, okay, my melting pot days. Those can't even go anymore. All right, so I saw this great thing from somebody from home. The neighbors were putting jokes in the windows. Like, how hilarious is this? So, I mean, of course, it was St. Patty's Day jokes, but they were actually writing on paper and taping it to the windows, and then you follow across the windows, and it was a joke. I mean, that's hilarious. That's smart. You saw the thing on Italy. That was nice.
Oh, yeah, they're all hanging off the balconies playing instruments and stuff like that.
I mean, really,
they know how to have fun.
We just know how to be assholes here. But no, we really, this is a time where we can either come together or we can be more divisive than we've ever been. And it's hard to come together when people say don't get closer than 6 feet to people and everything else. But think of creative ways like that. So building community from afar is a really good one. Number 5, this might be my favorite, is try to be grateful. And
for what? We had a goddamn pandemic going on, woman.
I know. But even when things are... you're at your lowest points, if you can try to be grateful, it really does help. There's science that being grateful and, just showing gratitude and even thinking about something you're grateful for. It can be something stupid like, I'm grateful that I have seltzer in my fridge. It doesn't have to be something super deep.
I'm grateful we have toilet paper.
Yeah. He's grateful. He's grateful I went shopping. So Scott got me this book for Christmas. It's really cute. It says, okay, fine, I'm grateful. And we wrote in it, we don't even have to zoom in on this, but we wrote in it every day after morning meditation from Christmas to, it just ended on Scott's birthday, and he would write in the top portion, and he would write something he was grateful for, and I would write in the bottom portion. But it was a nice practice we did every single day. And then you got me that new book from Pema. Now we read that after morning meditation. But actually having to sit down and be like, Jesus, I have to be grateful for something today? Okay, what's that? And sometimes it was just, I'm grateful for warm weather. I'm grateful This Is Us came out. It doesn't matter. Just try to be grateful.
Well,
Being
I think
grateful.
that if you're not grateful now, you will be, and we all will be when this is over. We'll be so damn grateful that we got this behind us.
Hopefully.
A lot of people that are especially grateful typically have gone through some type of great difficulty, whether it's physically, with their health, or something in their past, which gives them a deeper appreciation for what's going on now. So just keep it in mind. But
we all have something to be grateful for, no matter how minimal it is. So yes, we might be more grateful once this is past.
If you have to really dig deep to find it, then you're not that grateful. You're just trying to find something to be grateful for.
Try to be more grateful. That's the thing. Are you living, is your family with you right now in the house? Do your kids have diapers? We can go real, surface level here. So try to be as grateful for you can.
Is your internet working?
Yeah. That's really the big one. Can you imagine if now there's no internet, everybody's going to lose it. So, where you can, when you can, and even if in a moment of frustration, if you're just like, well, I'm grateful that moment presented itself and now I can move past that. Just really think about those things. Number 6 now is exercise. You've been good about that now.
Yeah, we were going to the gym, and we just decided to stop going to the gym because it just didn't seem socially responsible any longer, even though they were still open.
Last week we did.
Yeah, when did we go last? It was
we
last
stopped
week.
Going last week.
Yeah, it was just, we're really pushing the envelope on the gym, and they're in there spraying everything with Lysol. Come on, keep coming back. And we're like, this probably isn't a good thing to be doing any longer.
And it's not even about us so much.
And everyone in there is 80 years old.
Like what? Now, we came in with Corona, and now all the old people aren't there working out anymore. You have to be thoughtful of others, you guys. So anyway, that was a hard one for Scott, and he's
like, "Well, big of a deal."
But you're running. You're running now, honey. You're running every morning.
I like the structure in my life.
Yeah,
we're
gonna get to that one.
Meditate, go to the gym.
I'll let him announce.
No gym. I get up, meditate, and I run down the street.
I'll let him announce structure immediately. When we get to structure,
ties into that.
He's going to be able to go right to that. But no, he replaced that very first day with going for a jog. And you haven't ran in probably 6 months.
It was brutal. My lungs were so chewed up after that. I couldn't believe. I thought I had asthma.
He went 3/4 of a mile, and he looked like, I'm like, oh, well, we can't go to the hospital, so I don't have a heart attack.
Yeah.
But he's building up, and he goes every day, and he takes a dog on the run and everything else. And we have stuff at home, we can do jump ups on a one of those boxes, the CrossFit boxes and everything else. And I have little weights.
I got the old Jane Fonda VHS.
I don't think we have a system that will run a VHS anymore. But exercise is good, guys. It gets things going. And all of us that are like, I don't want to stop going to the gym. Oh my God, we get it. The gym is a nice way to make sure that you're boosting your immune system and feeling strong mentally and physically. But replace that with other forms of exercise. The CDC so far has not said stop exercising. That's going to be a big issue.
Well, I was going to say, tying into that, if you're an older person, and what I mean by older is if you're 45 and up, your balance is starting to get weaker. And I noticed this putting on my underwear this morning in the shower. I almost fell into the toilet. And so, it could tie into the mindfulness thing too, because
I've been having you do those Bosu ball raise-ups. You've been good at those.
And they weren't good when I started.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you could be standing, even watching TV, stand on one foot, Stand on the other foot
Good.
for a few moments.
Good.
Realize how pathetic you really are. And then you can see some progress being made because you got plenty of time to practice. You're going to be home for a long time.
We're going to be doing a lot of boxers on, boxers off to practice. Okay, so that sounded like a whole nother issue.
I
Okay.
kind of like the sound of that. We're going to practice
right.
that when we get home.
We got to get moving. We got 25 and we're going to go to commercial too. Okay, so listen, another thing to think about is walking the dog. So that's one that, if your dog's an ass on a leash, that's going to be trickier. But take your dog for a walk as well. That's not so much exercise, but it's nice to get out of the house.
I get the feeling we've suggested that in the past.
We're starting to feel cooped up. We have, but it's a good time to think about it. And if your daycares are closing or your dog walkers are canceling and everything else, take your dog for a walk. And then one that you brought up that I thought was really good is don't fret. What do you mean by that as far as financially and everything else?
As it ties into financial. I mean, everyone has anxiety. Typically it's around finances. It's things that we think we can control, but we really have no control over it. But thinking we do creates all this tension and stress. But think about what's the worst thing that can happen if you can't pay your car payment. They're not going to be coming to take your car right now. No, there's a lot of other people not making their car payment either. Think about what would happen if you didn't pay your mortgage. It would be stressful. But the thing is, they're not going to come and kick you out of the house. And even if you didn't pay your mortgage for a few months, and I'm not suggesting you do that, but if you get in a situation where you can't, just let it go. You'll get caught up afterwards. They're not going to go around and start kicking everyone out of their houses. It takes a heck of a long time for someone to actually get physically removed from a house for stopping payments on a house. So it's the same thing with the landlord. If you want to call, we have a mutual friend that she's looking to rent a house, and they wanted $2,500 for the house. She said, "Would you take $1,400 or something?" And they said, "Yeah."
Just for the
because
month.
They're so damn stressed. Everyone is so stressed.
It's an Airbnb, but it's for the month of April. But we're all experiencing financial stress right now, so don't get too caught up in, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm the only one doing this. I'm never going to make it happen. Like, we're all going through this, and there's going to be concessions made.
And everybody is going to get back where they were before this,
whenever that may be.
Yeah.
But fretting is certainly not helping anything.
Your health is more important than the money. The money comes and goes, and in my professional life, I've been self-employed since I was 30 years old, so it's almost 30 years now. I've had extreme highs, I've had extreme lows. I don't worry about it anymore because it's been so many months where it's out, you're up one month, you're down the next month. I just don't stress about that stuff anymore,
Yeah, no, it's true. All right, so those are our first 12. After break, we're going to give you our last 12. And in the meantime, guys, just stay calm and wash your hands. You have time to go wash your hands, even though we want you to listen to our commercial.
Does your dog seem anxious? Would you like your dog to relax? Do you want to feel more in control? Would you like your dog to cooperate? HowToCalmYourCanine.com. That's HowToCalmYourCanine.com.
All right, we are back. So we got through our first 12, and we're going to include the dog a little bit more here and give you some other good tips. But one thing is, if your kids are home now and you're home with your husband and tension is high in the house, give your dog some downtime. Like, your dog is going to need that. So put your dog in a crate, put your dog in an X pen, put your dog outside for a couple hours with a bone. Like, your dog is going to need some time away because we're really not all used to being this on top of each other. Scott and I, our lives have not changed much at all. We stay home a lot and we live with each other 24/7 and our dogs. Like, this is what we've done for...
It's very stressful.
It's way less stressful living in a home than when we lived in a training facility doing it. But that is one thing that you really want to be conscious of. It goes into mindfulness, but journaling is a really big one. So journaling has a lot of benefits. And what better time than to do some reflecting and some writing about ideas and everything else right now? You don't have to go and create some memoir and sit down and write chapters.
Although there may be time for that. You could write the great American novel over the next 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. But really, just even if you wrote a few sentences each day, there's something powerful in just journaling. And there was even some quotes in here about how journaling helps asthma and boosts the immune system and everything else. So consider journaling. Another thing is breathe. we're really big on this.
You know,
so,
they could be like the the Corona Chronicles you could write.
okay, we're moving on to breathe. Very good, though. That can be yours. You can start those. So breathing. We talk about this a lot with meditation. When you are stressed, if you take a deep breath, you've been talking about all the time at stoplights, you do this. I didn't know, but you've been saying it.
When I'm alone, I do. When I'm with you, I'm too distracted by your beauty to actually
You're not looking at
focus on the
stoplights because
mindfulness.
I'm driving. You're looking at your phone. So when he's
a few
driving.
deep breaths whenever you notice that you're getting a little anxious, or for me, you know, I start thinking about stuff that maybe is getting me a little bit irritated or uncomfortable or distracted. As soon as I realize that I'm kind of following some thoughts that are making me maybe a bit anxious, I just take 4 or 5 deep breaths through my nose and just calm down and get focused on my breathing, and it just settles me right down. So I'm not especially nutty, but
I would beg to differ
maybe the reason that I'm not is because I'm doing this stuff on a regular basis.
I would beg to differ on that one. You're less nutty than I've seen you in the past, but you're nutty in other ways. But breathing and like make it a habit. So
nutty in a good way.
Every time you see boxers on, every time you see stoplight or a red light or something, think about making that a habit. Another really big one, guys, is offer services if you can. So from now until April 1st, if you're having any issues with your dog whatsoever, you can email studio@thequirkydog.com and we will give you the best response we can. If the dog's biting you and stuff, we're not going to be giving you tips on aggression and everything else through the internet. But if you're having problems with stuff, we can try to help you problem solve. We can try to help you through stuff. So now until April 1st, you are able to email us and we'll be responding to those emails.
And beyond. You can always email us.
Email us and beyond.
There's no deadline on that.
Well, I would like, as far as the free questions and the everything else, not to be forever. We can answer questions on the show, but we had 3,000 listeners last month. We don't need. That's again one of Jess's tasks, the email responses. So let's not open that up for forever. But from now until April 1st, that's a good one. Wim Hof, I got all pumped up about this the other day. He was saying, "Get my app, like it's a free app." Okay, that's really loud in the podcast thing. But literally,
bring me the ice bucket.
If you have the free app, like if you're using these free apps, I heard that Headspace just went free for healthcare professionals. I was thinking if you do online counseling, like try to reach out to healthcare professionals to offer that. Maybe discounted rates for other people experiencing extreme anxiety. If you have services you can offer, especially online, offer those. And don't just offer those like, oh, now it's a great time for online training. Give people discounts. People are having a hard time financially. Help them out if and when you can.
Oh, I want to mention about apps. One app that I downloaded.
Go ahead.
Can I get a minute here?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You were right. 25 was too many.
It's called the Tapping Solution.
Oh, yeah. You like that.
And it's a great app.
For the EFT.
It's the emotional freedom technique, and it's a series of tapping on acupressure points, and it'll help reduce anxiety and all kinds of stuff. But this app, the Tapping Solution app, it's free. And there's probably 15 of these things that you can go through that are free, and then you could upgrade the app if you want, and they give you a bunch of other stuff. But it's a great app for anxiety. I've used it for if you're having trouble going to sleep, all kinds of stuff. So it's a pretty cool app. I'm
like the insomniac of 2020. Been better lately, though. But consider that. So you mentioned this, but sitting quietly with your dog is important. Not just petting him, furtively and crazy, but just have a little quiet time with your dog. We always talk about the stepping on the leash exercise. We really like that one. There's a YouTube video on that on our Canine Healing YouTube page. I talked about Brenda Alof's Be Still work in our live meditation on Monday. Like, have some quiet time with your dog where literally, like you said earlier, turn your phone off airplane mode, sit quiet, breathe, meditate, whatever you want to do. You can combine a bunch of these all into one, but spend quiet time with your dog. This high stimulation, this high vibration, they're feeling that too.
I would put a timer on your phone and set the timer, because when you sit there and you start getting antsy, you're like, oh, screw it, I've done this enough. If you put 3 minutes on your timer or 5 minutes or whatever it's going to be, you'll tough it out until the 5 minutes are over or the 3 minutes are over. And you'll wind up, as I do, usually the last couple of minutes are the best. So we meditated this morning for 30 minutes, and it seemed like it was going long. I thought, oh, maybe the timer wasn't set. And I look over, and we had like a minute and a half left. So
setting a timer makes sure that you do it, though. It ensures you do it. Because otherwise, you can be like doing it for 30 seconds. Oh, shit, I got to do this. I forgot to turn on the oven. Like, if you have a timer, you're actually like in the moment doing that.
Did I leave my hair straightener plugged in?
Don't joke. I really think I did unplug it before we came. Okay. So Google Hangouts. Oh my gosh, this is a great one. So my best friend from college, her brother was like, hey, like we're in 4 separate states. Let's all jump on a Google Hangout. And they invited me. So you can turn off your audio and your video like through the whole day. But then when you hear noise in the computer, you can go and like feel this community and this family because we all can't be together right now. And it's fun to just for 10 minutes be like, hey, how's everything going? Oh, look, my best friend has 2 little boys. They're doing cute stuff. Her brother's playing live music. Like, it's just nice to have a little bit of community.
Someone's walking through naked, going to the bathroom.
That's why you turn off your video, sweetheart. That's what I just said. So ours sits with the video and the sound turned off on our end the whole time. But then if I hear something, I can just go in and join that. And you can have like up to 150 people on Google Hangouts.
It's really cool. It's free, too. It's a really nice service.
Yeah. Scott's excited about that one.
No, I didn't know anything about it until just the other day. It's kind of like Zoom, only you don't have to pay for anything.
Zoom, it's true. Yeah. Google Hangouts is easier because you already have Gmail open anyway. So come on, let's move along with that. Yard work is a good one.
Get out there and sweat.
It is so nice outside. Go out and work in the yard.
Start growing weed.
Oh yeah,
Big plants.
He wants to.
I can't wait. Germinate those seeds.
Outdoor growing. Hopefully our landlords aren't listening. Okay, so one that I love because I'm all me. Scott's so funny. He's like, this is like totally made for you, this pandemic. Like we come home and we put the phones on the counter and you have to
clean everything,
wipe everything off, and then you have to line it all up. He's like, you were made for this. It's all about wiping and like lining things up. Marie Kondo. Oh my God. If you have not watched her series on Netflix, get to it. And if you do all this cleansing or whatever the heck she calls it, joy finding and getting rid of crap is really what it is, then you can donate that now when people are going to need it later. So really use this time to streamline what you own. We probably do not own much more than anything we need at this point.
She threw away everything I ever loved.
I did not throw away a damn thing.
She doesn't even ask me anymore. It's just gone.
You know what? When we moved out of our house, we did throw away our couch because it didn't frickin' fit through the windowsills the doorways because our house was so old and we had to open a big bay window to get it through the window originally, and we did cut it up into pieces. But that was one of the few things in our dumpster. I did not throw much away. But donate things. Donate things. You don't need clothes anymore. You don't need kids' stuff anymore. Donate, and go through it. Like, especially if you're older, what are your kids going to deal with all this crap? Like, rather than just throw it out, find a purposeful way to let it go on its journey. And Maria is the perfect guide for that.
Oh, yeah. She's kind of cute, too.
Yeah. You do like that. All right. So reading is a good one. You have not started that, but you mentioned that.
Well, I've been doing a lot of audiobooks.
Yeah, but it's nice to go back like in time and just sit with a book. Like every time we go on vacation, you go through probably 2 or 3 books.
I do.
Actually read. So if you have books at home that you haven't picked up in a while, read. It's a nice way.
I feel kind of guilty sitting home reading for some reason because I'm always so busy and being so productive all the time.
He's go. If he's not keeping all the balls in the air, we won't make it.
No, but I've been doing a lot of driving lately, and I've been doing the audiobooks, and I've been getting through a lot of books that way.
Okay, you're kind of counteracting my reading tip there.
Well, we can't be, I know. And I'm not going to be doing as much driving anymore either since we're going to be housebound.
On lockdown. Yeah. Baths. I love baths. Everybody's like, I don't have time to take baths.
You don't have to say that again.
No, really though. I take my bath so hot that really by the time it gets filled up, I just have to get out because I'm like almost boiling.
It's like just second-degree burns. The legs are all bright red. It's like, what the hell happened to you?
If you have,
it's perfect.
If you have the extra time, light a candle, bring a glass of wine, sit in the bath for 20 minutes. When is the last time you had a freaking bath?
I can't remember the last time I took a damn bath.
Yeah, when your back hurt, I think you laid in one. My same friend that does the Google Hangouts just sent me these really cool bath salts, 2 Angels. Probably can't get them through Amazon anymore, but think about baths.
Those the ones that made your skin break out?
That was the heat. Okay, homemade dog treats is a good one. Come on, we have 5 more.
When the hell did we do?
This was an Ellie one. I thought it was a good one. Okay. If you only have if you have a homemade dog treat with 3 ingredients, make your dog homemade treats. Do a little baking, do it for the dog.
Don't put the cannabis in the dog treat.
Okay, this is an important one. I'm going to do this one. You can do this one because you're just going everywhere, cattywomp. Try to inspire others, you guys. Oh my gosh. If you're just going to go on and
if you do nothing else, inspire a nation.
Well, inspire just one person, literally. Like, just try, because we're just so negative and caught up in all of this right now. And just you try to be the bigger person and try to help people out because it is a time where we can inspire. And a lot of these influencers are out there saying a lot of really great stuff and making people that follow them feel better, and try to inspire people.
And if you can't say something nice,
don't say anything at all.
all.
See, you did learn something in school. You do this one.
She circled stay off social media. Now, I'm embarrassed to say that there's a little timer on this thing. It gives me a weekly report of how much time I was on there last week. And it's like, it looks like every waking hour I'm on social media. The damn thing says, congratulations, you're down to 8 hours and 30 minutes a day on social media. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing when you look at that thing.
But it's not helping us
Of course, it's all work-related.
Oh, always. It's not helping us, though, being on Facebook and just freaking out about all this. I will say, when we're still getting together in large groups and people are bringing attention to that, maybe that is a little bit more productive. But just random bitching and random worry and everything else, like, it's not helping. So take time away from it.
Social media is an addiction.
Yes, and we have a lot more time to be on it now than normal because we're not sitting in meetings and we're not at the office and our boss isn't looking over our shoulder and everything else. This is, here we go. We're at the schedule. We're at the schedule one. What should we do? Create a new schedule for ourselves.
Go right ahead.
You've been talking about this the whole freaking podcast. Go, go, go.
Try to maintain some type of normalcy in your lives. You know, we're all not doing what we normally do. So you don't have to get up first thing in the morning, but continue to get up and get dressed and get on with your life and have some structure.
Yeah, just because you don't have to get up from work doesn't mean you should just be laying in bed here for 2 more hours than normal. And just like the dogs,
unless there's an opportunity for maybe a little
boxers on, boxers off opportunity. But just like the dogs, structure is important. Okay, we're down to the final 3, and they're going to be quick. And I have to say, the reason we're doing 25 is because today's our 25th podcast.
Oh, can you believe it?
We should have done an elbow bump.
Give me a wipe.
I got him. It's not even a joke. I got him.
Now, the average podcast, what is it that they last? 7, 10, 12 episodes?
I don't know.
Like
we're not trying to talk.
Low.
We're not trying to talk ourselves up. But that's why we had to do 25. 3.
I have to talk myself up.
Our producer says it's 3. All you do is talk yourself up. You should see him make breakfast. Have you ever had eggs this good? Oh my God, the pancakes are so fluffy. It's great. Okay. Meanwhile, I make 90%.
I have self-esteem issues. So
he builds himself up. I make 90% of the meals. We don't talk about those. Okay, so.
No, I don't want to talk about those.
Card games. Not really mindfulness, but get out cards. Like, that's an old school thing. Sit around, play card games. I don't think we've ever played card games together. I don't even think we have a deck of cards except little bone cards, like dog cards, but maybe we should play cards too. We'll practice what we preach. Reach out to a healthcare professional, you guys. If you know someone in the healthcare field, I have a very dear friend who's an obstetrician who had a wedding scheduled for May in DC, which I assume is maybe not going to happen. I just randomly shot her a text the other day like, hey, I am thinking of you every day. Because I really am. Like, shit is hitting the fan for them. So if you know a healthcare professional, shoot them a quick text. Shoot them a quick message. They are. Do something nice for a healthcare professional if and when you can. And then lastly, but not least, but not most, there's no real order, prepare. Buy local, of course, when you can. But buy more than you may think you need. Don't hoard. Don't be crazy. But literally, like, I spent $500 at the grocery store, and I've spent a bit more money there, and we're probably fine through the first week of April for us and our dogs and everything else. But, like, don't take this lightly.
No,
make sure you're preparing.
The only thing you want to be hoarding is ammunition at this point. I wanted to get back to the healthcare thing before Jess wraps this up, and I just wanted to say I got an email from Blue Cross this morning, which was really cool.
One. Yeah.
If you have concerns about symptoms and you think you may be getting something, you're not sure what it is, they're doing virtual doctor visits where they will let you converse with a doctor who will tell you whether or not he feels or she feels that you should actually go to the hospital. So it's a good way that you can get some medical advice and that without actually going and leaving your house.
That is for Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield in Maine. Yeah. So I don't know if it's different for other people.
But there's probably similar things all over the place.
Yeah, and the healthcare, like, they're doing the best they can right now. Like, we're all trying to do the best we can. So if you know someone that works in that field, reach out and thank them and just be like, hey, I'm thinking of you and you freaking rock, because it's hard.
I'm sorry again, but as far as I'm thinking of you, anyone you know that lives alone, give them a call, because that's really being isolated. I mean, most of us have families, spouses, someone, dog, something, but there are people out there that are stuck in their house that don't have anybody to talk to. They're getting a little stir crazy.
Google Hangout with them. Yeah. Guys, stay safe out there. We are not taking this lightly. We know this is not an easy time for any of you. It's not an easy time for us either. But if you need anything dog-related or anything else, again, now through April 1st, studio at thequirkydog.com. We're happy to help you with any random concerns you have here or there. Next week, we are going to have a special guest on with us. And in the meantime, keep it quirky.
Keep it quirky and don't touch your face.
Wash your hands. Get me a wipe. Wipe the pig.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.